We had to threaten a lawsuit, Jesse. And by the way, we're still entertaining it. We're talking to some of the best lawyers out there that are experts in this. And as you know, these things can be very complicated. There's a lot of facts and circumstances around it. But we're not going to let this go, because you should not be able to smear 5,000 high school and college kids and then just be able to walk away with it.
This Turning Point conference, the were in the front of out there in front of the conference with anti-Semitic slurs, and the cigar.
I think it's important that every single person that attended that Turning Point, every Republican, speak up against these stickers, against the flags that were waved.
You let them in.
President, open your
You let them in and you knew what they were.
Right.
So you are complicit.
But Whoopi is certainly not the brightest person. And what she just said just doesn't make any sense. It's just like so silly to say. It's not a well.
Joe Rogan just dropped a blistering takedown on The View hosts. And this isn't your average daytime dust-up gone a little sideways. Why? Because Charlie Kirk has blasted them with a staggering $100 million lawsuit, shaking the entire media landscape to its core. If you think you've seen drama before, think again. This is chaos cranked all the way to the top, supercharged by Rogan's raw, unapologetic fire. The moment Rogan steps into the fight, there's no turning back, and every sentence he hurls lands like a lightning strike you can't look away from.
Charlie Kirk's the founder and CEO of Turning Point USA and the author of the new book, The College Scam. So, Charlie, do you accept The View's apology?
I mean, regardless of whether or not I accept it, the question is, do our students accept it? That's really what's at heart here. They went after our 5,000 students at our event there of high school and college kids. And look, I get attacked all the time. People say false things. I'm a public figure. But when you go after 16 and 17-year-olds that travel from across the country that then have to live for the rest of their life with a shadow over them because someone at ABC says that they might be linked to
Charlie Kirk didn't just make waves. He slammed down a $100 million legal sledgehammer on The View hosts with the impact of a media earthquake. Yes, you heard that right, $100 million, and no, that's not a mistake. When your name gets thrown around on national TV like bargain bin gossip, and you've got the power to strike back, you don't fade into the background. You charge forward with everything you've got. Kirk isn't chasing headlines. He's sending a blazing message that he's ready to crank the heat to the max and fight fire with a full-blown financial inferno.
So, I mean, The View has to be, if you average out The View hosts, among the dumbest people on television. And so it's like they say the thing that people are thinking, but they say it very directly, so they expose whatever truth. But
I don't think some of them are dumb.
You don't think so?
No, I don't think Sunny Hosting's
You think it's deliberate?
I think she's ideologically driven, and they have blinders on for sure. I don't think Sonny's dumb, but Whoopi is certainly not the brightest person, and what she just said just doesn't make any sense. It's just like so silly to say. It's not a well thought out. It's like if you had an idea for a premise and it was totally baked and half baked, and you went on stage with it and it's nothing.
Just
there.
Go for it. Yeah,
there's nothing there. Sometimes comics do that.
This lawsuit isn't a spur-of-the-moment flare-up. It's a precision strike disguised as a multi-million-dollar warning shot. The truth is, The View treated Charlie Kirk like fair game, flinging accusations around like confetti at a carnival. It was almost like one of those over-the-top giveaways. You get accused, you get accused. Everybody gets accused. But the moment Kirk fired back, the whole situation exploded into a headline-grabbing legal showdown. This isn't about wounded pride. It's a high-stakes clash with a price tag so massive it could make even Hollywood's elite turn red.
Now we begin with a shocking apology just a short time ago from the ladies of The View to Turning Point USA. A war of words broke out after the conservative group was rallying the next generation of voters at its youth summit in Tampa, Florida this weekend. And the liberal panel just couldn't help themselves. The group sent a scathing cease and desist letter after hosts on The View suggested that Turning Point had embraced who showed up outside the event.
Now the hosts of The View are slipping into their trademark daytime theatrics, clutching their pearls and pretending this is just a small mix-up over an innocent little post. But it's anything but that. We're talking about a $100 million misunderstanding, and that figure makes your average reality show feud look like kids arguing over a swing set. This isn't some petty back and forth. It's an all-out courtroom showdown, and the spotlight blazing on them has never been hotter.
Do you see what Whoopi Goldberg said?
What'd she say?
Whoopi Goldberg said that Biden could arrest all the Republicans and put them in jail. You just need to see how unhinged this kind of thinking is. Well, you know what Joe Biden could do? Joe Biden, you have to see it because it's so
on TV.
crazy.
She said
on television.
You know, just let's look at a scenario where the Supreme Court says, yes, he has all those rights. He is immune from everything.
Yeah.
You know what Joe Biden could do since he is presently president?
What?
Whoa. He could throw every Republican in jail.
And then Joe Rogan storms into the scene, because who else could take a raging fire and turn it into a full-blown inferno? The man who made podcasting feel like a combat sport just unleashed his take, and it wasn't a sprinkle of sarcasm. It was a full freight truck unloading at once. Watching Rogan mock The View hosts is like watching a grizzly bear give a masterclass on honey theft. Raw, unpredictable, and strangely satisfying. Imagine the guy who usually debates UFO sightings and MMA knockouts now dismantling daytime TV royalty for their "let's pretend we're serious" act. It's like a world-class chef slicing open a soggy microwave dinner, surgical, merciless, and impossible to look away from. And why do Rogan's shots land with such crushing force? Because he refuses to join their circus. The View survives on loud voices and staged outrage. But when Rogan hammers them with blunt, unfiltered truth, they stagger. Their empire thrives on volume, yet when real legal muscle shows up, their voices suddenly soften. Rogan tears into their pattern of aiming at others while dodging their own accountability, and it's striking right at their weakest spot.
Welcome back. You know, in Monday's conversation about Turning Point USA, I put the young people at the conference in the same category as the protesters outside. And I don't like it when people make assumptions about me, and it's not any better when I make assumptions about other people, which I did. So, my bad. I'm sorry.
Okay.
So.
Meanwhile, Charlie Kirk isn't waving this lawsuit around for theatrics. He's firing a direct shot at the heart of media accountability in an era where smearing someone on national television has become a go-to sport. The View might see themselves as untouchable queens of daytime TV, but Kirk's move is the legal equivalent of a mic drop, deafening, costly, and impossible to brush aside. On one side, you have hosts who've built entire careers on outrage and opinion, treating real consequences like faint background noise. On the other, you have a conservative heavyweight with the means to declare, "not this time," and here are $100 million reasons to prove it. Joe Rogan's take only turns the heat higher, spotlighting the irony of hosts who preach from a moral high ground that collapses the second a lawsuit lands. This isn't just a spat, it's a ringside seat to the modern media battlefield, where lawsuits are artillery, outrage is currency, and the audience is gripping their seats, waiting for the next explosion.
The culture shift between right and left authoritarianism, and now people don't recognize that if you just stopped looking at it in terms of red and blue, look at the actions, whether it's war, suppression of free speech, pharmacological interventions that are mandatory, right. whatever it is, that used to all be associated with the authoritative right, the authoritarian right, and now those things are being embraced by the left. And I just think it's just an ideology thing, and I think we get confused and we think we're on the right side, and if it's our side that's saying this, for sure that's the right thing to do, and no one's critically thinking about this.
Joe Rogan is the gateway drug for young men that thought they were Democrats to become MAGA. Joe Rogan is the bridge, and on that bridge they'll see RFK. They'll see Elon Musk.
The hosts of The View are now caught in a crossfire that's obliterating their tried and true playbook. The one where they shout first and never bother with the aftermath. Those fiery one-liners they love so much are now crashing headlong into looming court dates. And if the lawsuit alone wasn't enough, Joe Rogan's scorching takedown is rubbing salt deep into a wound they never saw coming. His razor-sharp wit and fearless delivery expose an uncomfortable truth. Their so-called serious conversations often teeter on the edge of pure performance when someone dares to push back with force. For years, they've mastered the art of selective outrage, picking targets with precision while guarding their own image like a crown jewel. But Kirk's $100 million legal strike and Rogan's relentless roast have torn down that illusion, showing exactly how fragile that selective justice becomes. When the bill shows up in your mailbox, viewers now feel like they're witnessing a daytime TV meltdown in real time, complete with a multi-million-dollar backdrop and a podcast powerhouse calling the match. And here's the twist. The View has fallen eerily silent. No fiery rebuttals, no dramatic walk-offs, just the tense quiet that comes when legal summons hit and Rogan's words are echoing across the internet, rewriting the rules entirely.
I think the problem with that show is that show has this very specific ideological bubble in which they operate in, you know, and they always bring on a token conservative woman and they yell over her and silence her, and you know they did that with Meghan McCain, and they did that with the what is that other blonde woman from Survivor? Do you remember her, Jamie? She was always yelling. I mean, it's just, it's a bizarre show.
This lawsuit isn't just another midday headline you glance at while sipping your coffee. It's a blinding spotlight on the wild, untamed jungle of modern media warfare. In this arena, every insult is a live grenade, and every lawsuit is a laser-guided missile. The showdown between Charlie Kirk and The View isn't some one-off spat. It's playing out at the very heart of a culture so divided it could headline its own reality show called America Feud Edition. These days, lawsuits have become sharper political weapons than even the loudest viral meltdowns online. Forget neighborhood quarrels. We're talking $100 million legal brawls sparked by daytime talk show tirades. It's a high-powered statement, a reminder that cold, hard cash can shout louder than any TV rating, and when you can't win the shouting match on air, you drag the fight into court and let lawyers turn it into a full-blown spectacle. This case proves the courtroom has become the ultimate stage for media combat, a Coliseum where public disputes transform into multi-million-dollar gladiator battles, and only the most unyielding walk away. On one side, you've got shows like The View, masters of outrageous entertainment, a kind of drama factory where every episode crowns a fresh villain to publicly tear apart.
Megan, I get it. I also hate Joy Behar, so I don't love you, but I also hate that squawking bird, so I hate the whole thing. And frankly, that show, you want to talk about a show that set women back, is The View. You want to talk about that show, if the CIA is engineering, Antifa and fucking the Capitol riot, some crazy misogynist engineered The View, because there's nothing worse than The View. In terms of there are so many brilliant women out there, none of them are on The View. None of them have gone near the set of The View. I mean, they have brought in the lowest tier of the, what is it, the Y chromosome?
No, double
X.
Okay. Double X.
They brought in the lowest of the double X's for that one. It's rough.
On the other side, you've got conservative powerhouses like Charlie Kirk who take that outrage, bottle it up, and now hurl it back as a lawsuit with the force of a cannon blast. This isn't a polite disagreement. It's an all-out brawl for control over public opinion, with the finesse of a wrecking ball tearing through a glass tower. This saga is part legal thriller, part reality TV spectacle, and part circus, where the news plays dress up as theater, and theater pretends it's delivering the news. One minute, the discussion is about a weighty national issue, and the next, a lawsuit crashes in with the drama of a jaw-dropping movie twist. The lines are so smeared that audiences don't know whether to be furious, entertained, or just grab a tub of popcorn and watch the chaos unfold. And here's the real punch. Viewers are left questioning what's genuine and what's just a carefully choreographed act. The accusations, the lawsuit, Rogan's roast. Every piece is part of a meticulously staged media storm meant to keep eyes locked on the screen. This has blown far past a simple Kirk versus The View clash. It's the latest explosive chapter in the never-ending soap opera starring politics, media, and mountains of money.
Her disgusting, gross elitism and her complete out-of-touch nature with respect to the rest of the world. Sunny Hostin goes on The View and decides now would be a great time to dump all over the so-called uneducated.
What we did not have is white women who voted about 52%, right, for Donald Trump. Uneducated white women, is my understanding. You have Latino men actually voting more for him, and you have and black men was not the story. We're not the story here because they voted almost 80% for the vice president.
Right.
Just because you didn't go to college doesn't mean you're stupid, and it doesn't mean that you don't have wisdom. You can go to college and get a bunch of irrelevant facts about how men can allegedly give birth.
What's next in this wildfire of chaos? Honestly, absolutely anything, and it's probably going to be even bigger than we expect. The View host might try to slip into quiet settlement mode, because nothing says we need this to disappear like cutting an enormous check to smother the flames. Or this could erupt into a drawn-out, messy courtroom slugfest, dragging every cringeworthy email, unfiltered rant, and behind-the-scenes secret straight into the public spotlight. Picture the discovery phase. A treasure chest of scandalous receipts spilling out faster than a live producer can yell, "We're rolling!" If it heads to trial, don't expect calm legal chess. Expect a theatrical war, with both sides turning the courtroom into their latest stage for headlines, viral clips, and public sympathy grabs. The View might attempt a little image cleanup, lower the volume, maybe even fake some restraint. But let's be real, drama is their lifeblood, and this lawsuit is the juiciest plot twist they've had in years. Social media will keep stoking the fire, with memes, savage tweets, and viral videos turning every development into a spectacle. And Joe Rogan, he's not backing off after one swing. He's making it clear this feud isn't daytime filler. It's a fight that's about to get very, very real.
Yeah, did you watch the episode when Tulsi Gabbard got on to defend herself and Joy Behar starts panicking and going over her notes while Tulsi is refuting everything that she said?
Yeah, I mean, Joy Behar, like, again, these people have dementia. These are people who, like, should not be allowed out of the house. They have a national platform. I mean, it is crazy. They have no idea. These people have never read, like, a book.
And there's versions of it.
This lawsuit is the ultimate storm in a media world driven by viral outrage and influencer firepower, where the old playbook has been tossed out the window. One tweet can ignite a war, one video can take over the internet in hours, and one podcast clip can turn a legal case into a national obsession. No one knows exactly how this will end, but one thing's certain, it's not going to be boring. This real-life soap opera has every ingredient for a long, chaotic, and wildly addictive showdown. Millions are tuned in, dissecting every twist, sharing every clip, and arguing over every tiny detail. The View's legal fight isn't just about the dollar signs. It's a textbook example of how public feuds become weapons, how egos crash head-on, and how the line between journalism and pure entertainment keeps vanishing. In this battle of hashtags, lawsuits, and savage roasts, nobody walks away without scars. With Joe Rogan's mic still sizzling and Charlie Kirk's legal team locked, loaded, and ready, the next chapter is guaranteed to deliver more chaos, comedy, and courtroom fireworks. And the ultimate punchline: one day you're holding the spotlight, the next you're dodging subpoenas while getting roasted on a podcast that usually debates elk hunting and UFO sightings. Karma's got a wicked sense of humor, and this time it's delivering it with a $100 million price tag.